I'm Casperry and welcome to Ahmad Tea headquarters here in the UK. Now I'm going to be completely honest with you, I love tea. It's a major part of my life, but I'm completely clueless when it comes to knowing anything about it, where it comes from, how it's made, and how do you make a really good high quality tea. So I was absolutely thrilled when I was asked to come here to Ahmad Tea's famous tea room to see it in action behind the scenes. And as you can see, it's a bit like a science lab. There's a hive of activity going on and the aroma is absolutely incredible. Now, someone who's going to be answering a lot of my questions today is Dominic. Now, Dominic has been working here for many, many years and he does know his stuff. Now, Dom, come and join me over here.
Hi, Kaz. How are you?
I'm loving all the smells and loving what I'm seeing in front of me. Now, tell me a little bit about what your role is here and more about this fabulous tea room. What's it all about?
Well, our job title is actually tea tasters, so it's quite a descriptive job title. We actually taste a lot of tea. A typical day will probably taste about 500 cups.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and we've got sort of two main jobs really. First one is we're sort of selecting and buying different teas from all around the world for our blends. And then the other main job we've got is quality control. So we're actually overseeing the blends produced in all of our factories around the world, making sure the quality is correct and actually they're all consistent with each other as well.
Well, we've got a wonderful site in front of us here. Are all these teas blended?
Not all of them, no. The first two we've got here are actually individual invoices. And I've just put those on actually to show you sort of some of the differences between teas. And you see here they're in these little tins, and I talk about invoices of tea. That's sort of one batch of tea. And actually we keep a lot of these teas in our tea room here. So all of these drawers you can see here, each one of these tins is a sort of a single invoice of tea, which goes into our blends. And in our tea room we actually keep about 17,500 samples of tea.
So vast quantities then. You can't see it as well, but there are loads of drawers behind me. So you've got a lot here. Why is it so important to blend the tea? Why won't you use just one?
Because tea is a natural product, it's a crop, and it changes from day to day, different times of year, different seasons, whether it's in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. So we want to sort of select the right quality from the right period, always sort of maintain that quality, mix them together and produce lots of different products, but most importantly, you know, make every blend consistent.
So it's a real art, I think, making tea by the sounds of it. So tell me typically, how much tea would go into one blend? How many combinations?
It varies. I mean, on a general blend, it would probably be something like between 20 and 30 invoices in one blend.
Wow, that's incredible. And what are you looking for when you're tasting it? I mean, you've got clearly the best job in the world, tasting tea all day. What are you looking for when you're tasting the tea?
Well, it depends on the tea, basically. So we're looking for specific attributes from different origins and different types of tea. So we're always tasting to a standard, basically. So you can see here behind Neil's actually preparing a batch. And the teas we've got here are actually from the auction in Kenya in Mombasa. So we sort of, from previous tasting, we know roughly what types of teas are. So we sort them into a general category. And the important thing is we always have a standard. So that's that's an agreed standard we've selected. That's how that type of tea should be. And we're really matching the tea then, where does it fit into our grading system?
And obviously tasting it, as you say, is a crucial part to your role. But what makes a good palate? I mean, I love tea. I've got a mouth. Can I be a tea taster?
Possibly.
That's good.
I think we're gonna see how good you are at tasting.
Oh, you're gonna give me some to try. Okay, brilliant.
So,
should I take one of these?
So I mean, in terms of taste, it's different. You have to have a good palate, basically.
Okay.
That's the starting point. But you actually have to really learn about all the different types of tea. It's a huge subject, and there's thousands of gardens.
And do you have to do it in a specific order as well? So if you had
do.
something stronger, could it affect the next taste for you?
So basically that's kind of part of the training. You get your palate used to it, tasting like that and lots in one go.
Yeah.
So you need to actually kind of build up that and build up that library of teas.
Okay.
But like, you're right actually, the sortation's also very important. So you need to taste it in the right order to really make sure it gives you the best chance of properly assessing the teas. So what we'll always do is kind of start with weaker to stronger, unflavoured to flavoured. Because if you go, you know, you taste a strong Earl Grey, then go to unflavoured, it could sort
it's gonna ruin it.
linger a little bit on your palate.
Well, I'm going to watch you go for the first. I want to see how this was.
So I'll demonstrate.
Here we go. That's quite a unique sound. That's a very unique sound. So why do you draw it in like that?
The reason we do that is because the way you taste actually, the majority of taste comes from your sense of smell. That's where you get all the complex flavours.
Yeah.
And a good experiment you can always do is actually try and eat or drink something and hold your nose, and you find you can't really taste anything.
Yeah, I've done that many times with my children if they don't want to take horrible medicine. Really good technique. Right, okay. Yeah, so you want to smell it as much as you're tasting it as well.
So that's why you do that slurp. You want to give a really good slurp and, you know, aerate the tea and maybe suck a bit more air through as well, and then you give the spit.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Try it.
I'm going to go in. So this is the
very
Assam
strong.
tea. It's very strong. I'm going to get a kick from this. I'm not sure I'm going to get such a great noise. Here we go.
It's good. Bit harder.
I don't think my technique's very good. I think I do need the 5 years to get to tea tasting. But no, that's actually wasn't too strong for me. I thought I was going to get something quite.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, Assam is we do sort of refer to it as a strong gutty tea, but it's quite rich and smooth as well at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's a special quality period with Assam which we call the second flush, which is May, June. And that really has this special character we're looking for with that tea, which is a malty flavour. So you might just detect that a little bit, and also that malty character works very well with milk.
Wonderful. And you've got this other one here which has got quite a different colour, hasn't it?
So actually these are both Assams.
Yeah.
And they could quite possibly be from the same garden.
Okay.
But you can see they look totally different.
They do.
So this is the other type of other main type of manufacture, which is orthodox.
Yeah, these have got lovely golden specks in them, haven't they? Which is the kind of the main difference. And why is that?
It's a different manufacturing process, so they roll the tea. So these are actually now coming on to our main blends.
Yeah.
And one of our most famous, biggest selling blends is English Breakfast.
Yes.
And the reason I put that on next is actually because it's a mixture of those, the majority of the blend anyway, is actually a mixture of these two types of Assam, the Assam Orthodox and the Assam CTC. So the other way around, I should say.
Yeah.
But the main character you'll get is an Assam character, so it's that rich, malty character, strong, and it does work very well with milk as well.
So definitely with milk, you would suggest, yeah.
Well, yes, we like it with milk. So.
Okay. I feel very inferior next to you, David. You know that, don't you? Well, look, obviously tasting it is the most important thing for you. It's crucial. Are you a bit like a singer? Do you have to look after your palate? Is there something that you can't do? Like, do you avoid foods? Do you avoid other drinks that could actually damage your taste buds? Because that's your livelihood.
Yes, you do have to a little bit. I mean, a lot of common one people say is, you know, avoid spicy foods. I mean, what I would say about that is a lot of very good tea tasters are from India and Sri Lanka, where traditionally they have quite a spicy diet. And they're still fantastic tea tasters. So I think it's more like something you're used to. If you're not used to it, I mean, if I went out and had something very spicy or very garlicky for lunch and then came back and tried to taste, I would struggle a little bit. But
so you need a bit of time before you can then actually have to have that clear palate.
And it's what you're used to. But I mean, you don't smoke and things like that. So you do have to look after it.
You're looking after it. I like that. Right. So moving on with the teas, what else have we got in front of us?
So the next one is actually, this is is a very special tea because this is our managing director's favourite blend.
Oh, the big bosses. we won't touch that. Okay,
no.
don't open that,
and
please.
he created this many years ago, and it's a slightly different tea base to the English breakfast, so it's more a Ceylon Sri Lankan base with a bit of Kenyan as well.
Right.
So it's a lighter, sort of more delicate, brisker, fresher
quick
tea.
taste as you're talking.
And the other sort of thing that's really special about it is it has a very light dosage of bergamot, which really enhances that sort of fresh character.
That's lovely.
Okay, so
I
it's
can
just,
see why I agree with the big boss. That's a very good.
yeah. And then the next one we're moving on to is another very famous blend, Earl Grey.
Earl Grey.
So that's
yes.
again flavoured with bergamot, but a much stronger dosage of bergamot.
Okay.
And something I was just saying about our Earl Grey is it's quite a sort of a common policy with other companies that when they think that we're flavouring a tea, we can just use cheap, plain, poor quality tea because you know all you're going to taste is the flavour.
Yeah.
And we've just never had that policy. We always think to have a good, a
Yes.
good strong tea and good flavour.
Okay, talking about taste again, then what's the difference between, you know, say loose tea or tea that comes in a tea bag? Is there much difference, or is that really down to personal choice again?
The difference is actually the size.
Right.
So at the end stage of the manufacturing process, the tea size. So the small will just go into the tea bag because it's got a large surface area and it'll brew quickly. But you know, could be fantastic, could be terrible. It doesn't really.
Weighs it all up.
Yeah.
But let's taste one last tea. I have to say, I am drawn to the gunpowder green tea. That sounds quite explosive, if I'm honest.
It does, doesn't it?
Tell me about this one.
So gunpowder has this quite unique sort of shotty leaf appearance, these balls.
They're very big, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they're quite, you can see they're quite tightly rolled here, but actually,
Look, they are really.
actually now it's brewed, you can see it's opened up into almost a full tea leaf.
That's what it turns into. Yeah,
Okay.
amazing.
And it's quite different to a lot of other green teas. If you taste that, it's actually a lot stronger.
Okay.
Almost sometimes a little bit smoky. It's supposed to be like that. It's a strong, smoky.
It's quite a distinctive
Quite
taste.
a distinctive taste, yes.
I still haven't got the schlurp though.
You can taste a little bit of a smoky character.
You
coming
can.
in.
You really can taste the smoke. Almost, I would say, barbecue-y.
Yeah.
I can taste the barbecue. I can. I'm not going to make a job as a tea taster, quite clearly. Quite clearly. One last question for you. As we were talking about green tea, what is the difference between black tea and green tea?
Well, yeah, they're actually, some people actually come and ask us and they think it's a totally different plant. It's the same plant, made with the same techniques, just in a slightly different order. So those two processes that I talked about for CTC and Orthodox, they cut and roll the tea. That sort of opens all this, the tea cells and releases all the juices and enzymes. And that starts a natural oxidation reaction, which turns the tea from green to black. So with green tea, the first stage, or one of the first stages they do, is a very high temperature heating. So it destroys all the natural enzymes. So when they then cut and roll the tea, it basically can't turn into black tea. So it's a bit long-winded, but
I started this saying it's like a science lab. You can see why. There is incredible scientific kind of ability behind it. Oh, well, look, I've learned so much from you already, Don. I'm going to speak to you for a little bit. I want to borrow one of your team members, because it is a team working here, doing all the work.
Yes.
William, if I could borrow you just 1 second. Don't be shy. Now, this is the lovely William, who is the senior tea taster here. Now, Dominic's been going on a lot about quality control.
Yes.
Why is that so important when making tea?
Well, it's essential because we're serving all our customers around the world who've all got they've got high expectation of Ahmad tea. We're a quality brand and all different tastes, all different flavours. So quality control is fundamental part of the whole operation.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So, but why do you have to taste it so often? Is it there?
Well, you're tasting the tea on its passage from garden down to the port, down to into the factory, and at every stage there's a possibility of damage. It can take on a little bit more moisture. So our QC process trails that. We've got agents, and we've got offices all around the world who are tasting for us as well before it comes to our factory. So it's essential that we deliver the right product and it's in A1 condition, so our customers can keep coming back and buy some more.
Now, I imagine you probably have to have a good relationship with your producers and
Yes.
suppliers.
Yeah.
Do you get as well to taste lots of lovely tea all day?
Yes, we do.
Are you going to tell me that you travel the world to exotic locations?
Absolutely.
I think he is, yes.
It's not only the travel, but it's actually meeting some fantastic people in this industry. It's you know, I've been in it a long time, and I share the same passion of many of them, that their heart and soul, and it's never been a 9-to-5 job. You know, some of the planters, you know, you go up to. I travelled up to Assam this year, and we were still talking tea at, you know, way past midnight, and they're just so passionate about it.
Come on, make me jealous. It's a very grey, cold, wintry day here in the UK. Where have you been to? Name a few places.
Well, Darjeeling and Assam are some of my favourite places, but also Sri Lanka's beautiful, China, Kenya, Iran.
Wonderful.
Yeah, really super.
Well, there's clearly a reason why you're the senior tea taster here. William, I'm going to let you go. So for now, a goodbye from all of the team here at Ahmad Tea. See you soon.